Hi everyone, Flaming Footy here and welcome back to a new video on the channel. And today guys, we are going to be continuing our big round reviews. Yes, our big round reviews today. In today's video we're going to be reviewing every game from round 10 of the 2022 AFL season. I will tell you, massive round as always, massive round in the AFL as we always do. Just so you know, I did tip 7 out of 9 in this round. So, nice stuff there. And it was a massive round. Upsets as well. And I'll tell you by starting off with, I did get Carlton by 15 spot on by the margin. So, that's a nice start to the round. But anyway, let's not waste time. We'll get the review started. But a massive round of footy and a massive review coming up. And a short preview of round 11 as well. So the first game of the round was Carlton versus Sydney, which Carlton ended up prevailing by 15 points. Carlton 15-12, 102 defeated Sydney 13-9, 87. And Carlton, their game was built on the second quarter. That's where they won the game pretty much. Otherwise, if they hadn't have had it, I reckon the Swans would have won the game had they not had the second quarter they had. A lot of hads in there. But anyway, let's just get to the review now. Sydney started the game off quite well due to Carlton's inaccuracy. Carlton getting 3 goals, 5 in the first term. Sydney 4 goals, 0. And then second quarter, it was Carlton's real lift. They kicked 9 goals, 3 to Sydney's 3 goals, 0. Sydney was 7 goals, 0 at half time though. So impressive accuracy, but Carlton, they were well ahead. They were up 80-42 and it was pretty much almost game over at half-time. But no, Sydney managed to just wrangle the game back into their form. They managed to bring the game back from where it was almost gone at 38 points back to under 20 points, which was amazing. In the last quarter, they almost stole it. They almost stole it from the Blues, but the Blues just too good in the end, winning by 15 points. Now, Geelong defeat a not-so-great Port Adelaide side down at Cardinia Park, GMHBA Stadium. Geelong 11-16-82 defeat the Power 7-5-45 by 47 by 35 points. Now, the real key down there was, Geelong were very good, and the ground is smaller than normal, and the Cats do play the ground very well down there, as we do all know. Freo did manage to go down and beat them early in the year, but again, Port Adelaide had no luck in this one. Geelong, they were relatively inaccurate and actually could have won this game by way more, pushing up towards 50 or even 60 if they had been way more accurate. So, lucky for Port Adelaide. Port Adelaide were very lucky that the game didn't get blown out of hand. They were always in it, especially in the first half where it was relatively even and actually led at half-time. The third quarter, though, was all the Cats, and that's when the game changed to go out to a 26-point Cat lead at three-quarter time. And you knew from there when Port Adelaide had scored 39 at the end of the three quarters, it was game over. And restricting a good team like Port Adelaide to 47 is something that is pretty good, and the Cats just showed their skill, class, and dominance in this game. Now, same time, same day, the Bulldogs 15-16, 106 get over the relatively great Gold Coast Suns 13-9, 87. Joel Jeffrey lit this game up with 5 goals and a Rising Star nomination. But the real big thing in this game was the Western Bulldogs, who were in front for majority, if not all of the game. And they were just impressive, especially in that third quarter where the game just got away from the Suns. Otherwise, if the Suns had to control that third quarter, they could have won this game. And they probably actually should have if they had to control that third quarter. The first quarter was Western Bulldogs. They play Mars Stadium well. Adelaide did go down there and defeat them early in the year. So an upset here was definitely not unlikely to happen. The second quarter was relatively even. The Dogs were extremely inaccurate. 6-12 at half-time compared to the Suns 6-5 at half-time. And then the third quarter was the Western Bulldogs, which that's where the game was penultimately lost for Gold Coast. They did bring it back towards the end of the third quarter to be down by just under or around 3 kicks of the footy. And the last quarter was relatively even, with Gold Coast trying to make a late push, but again, just too little too late. Gets the Western Bulldogs over the line. They win by 19 at Mars Stadium. Massive win for their season. But Gold Coast, there was still a pretty good performance down there for them. Now we head to Marvel Stadium, where North Melbourne Aids 553 get defeated by Narm/Melbourne 14-16-100. North Melbourne played in this game for the first half, and Melbourne was way too dominant in the second half. So the first half was actually, either way, you could really take anyway. North Melbourne actually did lead at a few stages in this game, but Melbourne, they were the better team on class, on skill, like they have been all year. But North Melbourne still tried, at least in the first half, but it was all Melbourne really from there on, one way of traffic from there on. But Melbourne was still more classy in this whole game than North Melbourne. They did try and come back in that third quarter, but Melbourne kicked a few goals late and pretty much saw them done. They were down by around 20-odd at three-quarter time, but I knew they were done at that stage because Melbourne, they are a great last quarter team and can surge home to victory, just like they did in this one, and they win by 47 points. Now, off to the MCG we go for Dream Time at the G, as Richmond 11-14-80 get over the Bombers 7-6-48. Richmond win this one by 32. And it wasn't really great. Essendon were never really much of a chance. And the Tigers, their last few weeks have been fantastic. And yes, challenges may be coming for them in the next few weeks, but they're still going very well for me, I say. They've got Sydney at SCG, and I actually wouldn't be surprised if they were to win it. The form they're in is showing, there's no reason showing why they can't win that game against Sydney on the Friday night, the SCG. In fact, they could. And I have tipped Sydney in that game, but yeah, they could win it. Because this performance was, again, great. Richmond in the last 4 weeks have been fantastic, winning big against West Coast, winning a brilliant size margin, about 30 points against Collingwood and Hawthorn, and then another 30-point win over Essendon. They've been very good. So, yeah, the Tigers, first quarter, nothing really special. The second quarter was where they really blew it out of proportion. Third quarter, not really a lot. And fourth quarter, they kicked a few goals just to really get the substantial lead going. The Bombers, they were always in this game at around 20 points, but just didn't do anything when they were there. And Richmond probably should have won this game by more than what they did due to their inaccuracy. But either way, it's still a massive win for them. A nice win, a big win. And again, if they want to make the top 8, they do need to win these games quite comfortably for percentage. But they've been a good team this year, Richmond. I definitely say that with confidence. They've been pretty good this year so far. To the other Saturday night game now, Adelaide 9-15-69 get defeated by St Kilda 14-6-90, Saints by 21. But I'll tell you, the Crows' effort was more than valid in this game. They actually deserved to win this game, in my opinion. Inaccuracy is what cost them winning this game. They were great in probably the second quarter. I'd say the second quarter was their best, or the third quarter, where they won both the second and the third quarter. They were great in both those quarters. The Saints maybe did have a better second quarter than the Crows, but third quarter than the Crows. First quarter, though, was even. Second quarter was Adelaide getting out to a little bit of I think it was an 11-point lead at halftime. Three-quarter time was pretty similar. The Crows were just a tiny bit in front. And last quarter was all Saints. Max King kicked 6. And I tell you, he was a real turning point in this game. He was a real point of difference. And the accuracy, of course, for St Kilda was also another point of difference. But other than that, Adelaide were really in this game. And efforts like this will win games. They just need to be a little bit more accurate. Otherwise, they would have won this game. So they're a good team at the Adelaide Oval, are the Adelaide Crows. So this was a pretty decent effort against a pretty great team. So I think if you're a Crows fan, you'd probably take that as a little mini win, even though we didn't win, but it's still a mini win in a way, if you get what I mean. It was still a great performance against a great team. And for the Saints, well, they're just having a great year, so yeah, full credit to them. They had a great win here at the Adelaide Oval. Now onto the Sunday games in GWS 21-12, 138 outscored the Eagles 13-8-86. The Giants 138 defeat the Eagles 86 by 52. But West Coast, not all gloom. It was actually a decent score. 86 is not a bad score, and you'd take that. And 86 is generally a winning score. Unfortunately enough, in this case it wasn't, but 86 is still a great score for a team that hasn't been able to score lately. So 86, you take that. But the Giants just way too good, winning by 52 against an okay Eagles team, you could almost say. Mark McVeigh's first game coaching for the Giants, and he did it very well. And And the Eagles were never in this game. It was always hanging around a 50-point margin from half-time onwards. But they were all right. They were still managing to score at a rapid pace to get to 86. So they were pretty good, were the Eagles. They managed to score, but the Giants, way too good in this game. They were just way better than the Eagles. Even though the Eagles scored, but they just managed to outscore them by a lot. Showing that the Giants can actually score. They can score a heavy score. It was at Giants Stadium. It wasn't against a great team, though, but the Giants, this was a massive win, and they needed this win. They needed this win badly. Now to Utah Stadium, where the Hawks shocked us all yet again. Hawthorn 18-9, 117, get over Brisbane 17-10, 112, and too little too late for the Brisbane Lions makes them lose this game. And it was a very high-scoring game. This was what you'd used to see back years ago in the AFL when teams would be scoring this on a regular sort of basis. But now it's around, kind of hangs around the 80 is what you'd normally see an average kind of game hold. So this was back to those older times, and it was really exciting seeing a high-scoring, free-flowing game, plenty of goals out the middle, really quick goals as well. You can see there 2 quick goals for Hawthorn, then some more quickies for Brisbane at the end of the game, quick goals there. So yeah, it's exciting when you see a good game footy like this, and this one was very good. Hawthorn were the better team. They were just fantastic. They managed to outscore Brisbane by 5 points. Lewis was good for the Hawks with 4 goals as well. But it was a fantastic game down at Utah, and Hawthorn do play down there relatively well. Can't say the best, but they do play down there pretty well, and it was their they were down by 22 points late in the third quarter, so they had to really bring it back, and showing that this is definitely one of their best wins of the year so far, after a team that's been okay throughout the year, beating a really good team. So that's a big win for the Hawks. And well, the Dockers' horrible form continues as they get defeated by Collingwood. Freo 6-8-44 get defeated by Collingwood 12-8-80 in probably the biggest upset of the round. Hawthorn Brisbane was a big upset, but I don't know, this one may take the cake. I'm not quite entirely sure which one does, because they're both massive upsets. But it was wet weather, so that gave Collingwood a massive advantage, and they just played the wet weather better than the Dockers. The Dockers have showed they can't play in the wet. It was even at half-time. A goalless second quarter for the Dockers gave the game to the Pies. The third quarter was what the Pies needed. They had a little bit of a spark, but the Dockers were still in the game. It was around 20 points three-quarter time. Final turn, Collingwood go bang, 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 bang to finish off the game and win convincingly. They win this game very convincingly by 36 points to the Collingwood Footy Club. And they are shaping up now. They've really taken themselves into this game with a good game, blockbuster clash versus Carlton next week at the MCG. That game could be better than what we all expect. So it's going to be a massive game for Collingwood next week. This was a massive game, massive upset. And they did need that badly, did Collingwood. After being beaten by the Western Bulldogs heavily, they needed to come back and win, and that's exactly what this was. Great win for the Pies. So, of course, after round 11 is the mid-season draft. So, round 11 will also finish off Sir Doug Nicholls' round. So, let's take a quick look at round 11 and the ladder. So, Sydney versus Richmond begins the round. Friday night footy. Brisbane versus GWS is the second game. And also at the same time on the Saturday is Geelong versus Adelaide. Melbourne versus Freo could be blockbuster, but again, I just don't see it being blockbuster. West Coast versus Western Bulldogs at Optus. Gold Coast versus Hawthorn. TIO, I do see that one being game of the round. Saturday night footy up at Darwin or Alice Springs. I do see that one being game of the rounds. St Kilda versus North Melbourne. Carlton versus Collingwood, massive game for both the clubs. I do feel like Collingwood will get closer than what people do think in this game. And Port Adelaide versus Essendon will end off the rounds. And then, of course, from there on, bye rounds also come. Melbourne pretty comfortably on top of the table as well. I don't really see that changing. Do the Dockers make them go 10-1, or will they go 11-0? It's an unbelievable number, 11-0. Sounds amazing. Brisbane, after their loss, they're equal with Carlton, and that does loom dangerous. As a loss for them and a win for Carlton can make Carlton go up into second. After Brisbane having such a great year so far, the Dockers are in real danger of losing their top 4 spot as well. St Kilda right down their throat. just 10% separating them both. They're on the same amount of points. Geelong, Sydney, Richmond rounds out the top 8, with the Western Bulldogs and Collingwood just a game out of the top 8 as well. Port Adelaide desperately need a win to get back in touch with the top 8, as do Gold Coast and Hawthorn. The winner on Saturday night will have a crack at the top 8. I do feel like the loser their season may almost be over after that loss. So that's a massive game on the Saturday night. GWS and Adelaide are on 12 points. Adelaide have now slidden down into the bottom 4 after GWS's big win over the Eagles as a percentage booster. Essendon sit on 8 points. North and West Coast sit on 4 points. So, wow. What a ladder it is. It's big. And, I do really see Gold Coast versus Hawthorn being massive, because I would say the loser, their season will probably be over. So that's a massive game. And, of course, Port Adelaide, if they end up losing to the Bombers, their season could just about be over as well. So there's some massive games coming up in the next few weeks as teams will be eliminated from the finals race. So that's exciting. So this review's gone for a little bit longer than what it normally should, so we're going to wrap it up here. But thank you guys all so much for watching. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you guys will never miss another video on the channel. Thank you guys all so much for watching. So bye everyone, Flaming Footy out.